Hello students, in this video clip, we'll practice how to measure TIPS, which is the Treasury Inflation Protected Securities. All the future cash flows generated by the investment by the securities is exposed by the inflation. This exposure to inflation definitely deteriorate the value of these future cash flows. So if we invest the TIPS, we get some benefit from this future cash flows uh, increased by the inflation rate. So how do you avoid inflation risk on bond investment? That's the starting point of the question. The rate at which price as a whole are increasing, that means that the nominal interest is the rate at which money invested grows, ignoring inflation. Even though we know the inflation, this the rate, nominal rate, doesn't consider interest rate inflation, the discount. So we want to know actual interest rate discounted by the inflation. So 1 plus real interest rate is 1 plus nominal interest rate discounted by 1 plus inflation rate. Why do we put this 1 plus 1? Because we assume that we have $1 invested, and then we this $1 invested amount, okay, this $1 invested 1 plus rate, that is the future value, right? This is the future value. So $1 times 1 plus interest rate discounted, that means that that is the future value, 1 year, the future value. It should be discounted by inflation rate. So we come back to the 1 plus $1 times 1 plus real interest rate. So the real interest rate, now let's take this 1 to the other side, then we got this. So real interest rate calculated like that way. So receiving nominal cash flows increased by inflation is the main concept of Treasury inflation protected securities. That means the future cash flows are not affected by inflation discount when we measure the real interest rate. So the nominal cash flow in TIPS is definitely greater than nominal cash flow in the ordinary bond. Real cash flows in TIPS is equal to nominal cash flow in ordinary bond before discounted by inflation. Because the real cash flows in TIPS is discounted by the inflation rate from the nominal cash flows. So we have the same value. But the real cash flows in TIPS is definitely greater than real cash flow in ordinary bond discounted by inflation. Okay, so let's take a look at this Excel exercise. Suppose you buy a corporate bond with 2-year maturity and a coupon rate is 4% paid annually. Assume you buy the bond at its face value $1,000. The inflation rate is 2%. First, we have the first table, which is the ordinary bond cash flow ignoring inflation with the nominal interest rate. So here at the 0, 1, that means minus $1,000. We invest $1,000 bond, and then we are going to receive 4% out of $1,000 face value. That is cash flow, right? So 4% times 1,000, so $40. At the end of this maturity, we are going to receive the 40 plus this $1,000, the face value. That is the cash flows starting point, and then year 1 and year 2. Then how to measure this YTM? In this case, we have different future cash flows, so we cannot use this magic table of bond, right? Instead, just we can use IRR. Do you remember internal rate of return? That makes the same the future cash flows, future cash flow discounted by the interest rate, the market rate of this IRR, which is YTM, with this $1,000. This $40 and $1,040 discounted by this YTM or IRR is the same as the current value of $1,000. So we are using this IRR, including this $1,000, and then we got 4%. 4% is the nominal, the YTM, this YTM, okay? Okay, then and then real rate, real interest rate, how do you get it? It is discounted by inflation. Now, the today is never discounted because today is the value as the same. And then, oh, I already the right here. Okay, here the $40. Okay, I'm gonna adjust. This amount should be, okay, $40. Now, the $40 should be discounted by inflation to the power of 1, right? So I'm going to put here. So you got 39. And then this, now 1040 should be discounted by inflation to the power of 2, so that we can get the value of the real amount. So real amount discounted by the real rate. So 999.62 is the real value discounted by the 2 years in inflation rate. So what is the YTM? Then YTM is again IRR, and let's just drag. So we got 1.96, or you can just get this 4% using this equation, 1 plus 4% divided by the inflation rate, because YTM is 1 year interest. So we discounted by 1 plus 2% and minus 1. So we got the same, we got this, the YTM. Actual YTM, real interest rate is, now we realize that 1.96%. So answer is, what will be the year cash flow year 1? The cash flow year 1 is $40. And then cash flow of year 2 is, but what would be your real rate of annual return over 2 years period is now the 1.96%. Now we realize that the actual the yield to maturity is very low, right? Not the 4%, is 1.96%. But once we purchase a TIPS bond with a 2-year maturity and a coupon is 4%, okay, we have same the situation, same bond types, but the TIPS bond is totally different. Why? Okay, starting from 1,000 investment on TIPS, and then this $40 should be increased. $40 should be increased. Oops. This $40 should be increased by the inflation rate. So you're gonna receive this $40.8 in TIPS using the nominal the cash flows. Then how much is that? Okay, this amount is a little bit here, $1,000 times 4%, we got 40. And then we can use the same the formula, but anyway, here 140 times 1 plus 2% to the power of 2, like this. So you got 1,082.2. So you got this new the cash flows, new cash flows. Now let's calculate IRR. This IRR include this, all this number. So 6.8% is nominal interest rate. Nominal interest rate. Okay. Then let's calculate the real interest rate. This $40.8 should be discounted by the inflation rate. So let's just calculate using this equation. So we got $40. We returned just $40. We also returned this number to $1,040, right? And then this amount is the same. The YTM calculated by this IRR, this must be 4%, which is exactly the same as nominal YTM in the ordinary bond. Okay. So cash flow in the year 1 of this TIPS bond is $40.8, and then cash flow year 2 is 1,082.02, and then the real rate of annual return, even though we consider the inflation discount, because the cash flows distributed is increased by the inflation. So when we consider the inflation discounted by the inflation again, and then we got the real value, actual cash out amount, $40. Okay, see you in the next video clip. Bye-bye.